Welcome back to the channel, guys. Zach Barnes here, and today I am taking a look at these. Now, why do I have these? These right here are the Sandwear GTs. These are gaming headphones, Bluetooth earbuds to be exact. Now, I was sent these by Sandwear, and this isn't a paid video or anything, but I wanted to try these out, and let me answer the big question, elephant in the room. Why in the world am I testing out gaming headphones? Well, a few reasons for that. Number one, I'm a gamer. I love to play video games, and so I have Bluetooth headphone sets for gaming. I also have obviously really nice audiophile, mixing and mastering headphones, my trusty dusty Sennheiser 600 HD 600s. And so I'm no stranger to good quality audio, of course, Atom audio monitors, so forth. I'm no stranger to good quality audio, and I was just curious, is there a big difference with gaming headphones? Like, do they actually sound good in terms of musical application? So I wanted to check it out. The other reason too is because, a lot of the pianos that I review have Bluetooth capability where you can use Bluetooth headphones. And so I was just curious, do these hold up? Because a lot of people, like myself, play games as well. And so it's kind of nice to have one pair of headphones that does double duties. But anyways, let's get into the video. So quick spoiler alert, these actually do sound really good, but there are some latency issues in terms of music production that I'll get into in the video. But for now, let's talk about the build quality. These are gaming headphones. So it's a complete different demographic than maybe we would have for, the average musician. So they look like gaming headphones. Now, I don't fault them for that because again, that's their demographic. This is a crossover, so I'm just curious, but the build quality is fine. It's hard plastic. The case is really cool, very ergonomic, and it pairs easily. It's got a USB-C port in the back, and I like how the case looks like some type of Autobot, Transformers thing going on. It charges when you stick it in there, which is pretty neat. They are on the bigger side, but that's to be expected because again, they're gaming headphones, so different target audience than practical musician. But they do fit nicely in there. They fit nice and snug, actually. I love that they comes with two different types of tips. You get ergonomic tips, and you also get the sport tips. And once you place them in your ear, they are very snug. They don't move. There's no type of wiggle, which I actually really enjoy. They're way more snug than my AirPods, so kudos for that. If you are into intense gaming and playing and just overall movement, these will do the job. So kudos to them on the build quality. Now, when it comes to sound quality, obviously that's the most important part. The thing about piano is that it's a full range instrument. I mean, you're talking everywhere from 40 Hertz all the way up to 15,000 kilohertz. It's a full spectrum instrument. And so I pulled up Piano Versus to see how these would sound. And I was pleasantly surprised is that they have a good, I wouldn't call it neutral sound, but it does a good job handling the dynamics. And that was something that I was really curious about. So the overall EQ has got boosted bass, which I expected because these aren't like flat headphones, but it wasn't boosted in the sense of like you lost or you had a bunch of distortion. Some of the cheaper in-ear monitors, like the distortion is really bad, especially in the low end, and it's just straight up muffled and mud. This was more just like you could tell it was like a boosted curve, probably around 100 Hertz. But the way that it handled dynamics, I like that I could dig into the piano and it never spiked. So I was actually impressed by the sound quality of these. I didn't think it would, typically, like just speaking honestly, I usually figured game headphones would be trash for real music application, but these actually weren't bad. I could totally use these as practice headphones. And I like the fact that, they're portable. So if you are a gamer and you are interested in using your gaming, in these ones at least, in practicing from a sound quality perspective, they pass the bill. Again, you're gonna have boosted bass in there, which is to be expected because they're, for games, but for playing piano and just general practicing, actually for production, I like these for production because of that boosted bass. A lot of times I wanna hear what I'm producing, I want it to feel good. And I don't even wanna have to worry about, I'm not looking for flat, I'm looking for something that's inspiring. So for practicing and for producing, these actually pass the bill sound quality wise, which is pretty impressive. Did not expect that from these gaming headphones, so kudos to them. Now for mixing, I would not recommend these. Now, of course, these aren't intended for that purpose. Like I said, they have the boosted EQ curve, so that automatically disqualifies them. They're great for practicing and for production, but they're not good for critical listening in terms of mixing. But that's kind of a given because they're not, that's what these bad boys are for. These are really nice, great soundstage, open back, very expressive. And the EQ curve on these is absolutely masterful. I've had those for at least a decade now and I'll never get rid of them. Favorite headphones, hands down. Now, with that being said, if I were to compare these two, I like them both for different reasons. So portability aside and form factor aside, like they're actually both really comfortable for long sessions. You can wear either one very comfortable. These do make you feel free. I will say that as a quick little point out. When I was practicing piano with these, they make me feel like there's nothing attached, which is kind of nice. Over-the-ear headphones can get a little bit fatiguing sometimes, depending on how the strap is and depending on the ear cups. Even when they're soft like this, they still can, like, you're just very present that they're there. These, you just feel like something's something in your ear and that's it, but they're very non-noticeable, which I like. So there's something to be said for that. But if I had to compare these two, again, these are more fun, again, which is to be expected, and these are more clinical, but they still sound rich. Again, great for mixing, great for mastering. These are not my favorite ones to produce on though. They just don't pack as much of a punch, but they're not supposed to. Whereas these are fun to listen to, and they have an EQ curve that obviously boosts the bass, and they can take a beating sound pressure wise, and they're a little bit more forgiving, a lot more forgiving. So for that reason, it's fun to start off a track and producing here, because you can crank it and just bump and get into a good vibe. But these are great for listening, at least for that immersive kind of experience. This is a different type of immersion. This is like truth telling, you know, seen through a crystal glass, right? So I love them both for different reasons. I can see why somebody would like these, and I think overall, again, this was just designed to be a fun video, but if you're somebody who is interested in gaming headphones, I do believe that this at least convinced me that it's possible to cross over. I think for practical music production and practicing, something like this could work. It'll save you from having to buy 2 pairs of headphones for one purpose. The big thing that I'd watch out for is latency. So the sound was great. I actually had no issue with the sound, but there was a latency issue. Now, mind you, I'm doing this through my Mac, and I was doing that through the Mac interface. I don't think the latency is the same as it is maybe like on an iPad or to the piano directly. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the pianos that I had for my last couple of reviews. I had to send those back, so I could not test the Bluetooth functionality on these from the piano directly. But I do know there's latency issues when you tie it to your computer. So although the sound quality sounded great, there was a bit too much lag, so I couldn't use it practically in the music production. So that was kind of cool to find out. Anyways, this was just a fun video. I wanted to see, you know, I've always thought about trying game headphones and see how they would work in a musical application, but never did it. So it was kind of fun to test that out, and yeah, learn something new every day. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this fun video. I'll see you guys back for the next one. Peace.